Welcome to the Anime Podcast channel. My name is Benji, and today we'll be discussing chapter 1056 of One Piece, Cross Guild. And I'm not gonna lie, this chapter raises more questions than answers for One Piece. For myself, honestly. Like, some major questions need to be answered, Oda. I need them. Because this very well may be our last time setting foot in Wano. So for the sake of this video, I will be kind of condensing the full breakdown of this chapter review. It'll be a little bit different, but I do want to see how this structure kind of works, because I do want to kind of give more of my opinion, at least for this chapter review. So basically, I'll focus on points that I feel like are very important and then give my opinion on those matters. And if you like this structure better, let me know down below in the comments, because, you know, I'm making these videos for you guys, you know? And myself, obviously, but for you guys. But before we begin, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Me and my friends Nick, Taj, and Phil make weekly podcast videos on all of your favorite anime and manga series. And make sure to go ahead and join our Discord. We constantly discuss Oda's masterpiece, as well as the Greymon, which is my favorite manga of all time. Just letting you know. But that's about it for the formalities. Let's go ahead and begin with the chapter review. So of course we get another page more so dedicated to the One Piece film Red movie coming out this August. And it's basically of Yuta waking up from a nightmare, which seems to be of how she got separated from Shanks within the trailers. And we don't really necessarily get any more detail other than that. But of course, once she wakes up, she starts to write music, which is a very, you know, thing that is much synonymous with Yuta, writing music and singing. So I guess I'm excited for that. But moving on, we actually move on to the cover page of this epic chapter, and we get one of the fierest cover pages I've seen in a long time. So basically, we get not only Katakuri, but also Oven attacking the remaining members of Germa. Well, basically the members of Germa. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate Oven, like, you know, with every fiber in my being, but seeing him paired with Katakuri in this cover page is pretty fire, not gonna even lie. But moving on to the actual chapter, we actually start with the aftermath of what happened after Green Bull actually fought Momo. And from the looks of it, it looks like the ninjas or the shinobis of basically Wano got the worst treatment of this fight, because both Raizo and Shinobu are basically withered to nothing. And they look like raisins, basically. Both lying on hospital beds because Green Bull sucked all of the nutrients out of both of them. Pause. So then Kinemon actually lets it be known that he regrets his absence from the scabbards during this battle. You see, Kinemon was actually in Kuri, another part of Wano, and trying to see his wife that he hasn't seen in over 20 years, I believe. And I'm not gonna lie, they have a really nice little relationship, relationship goals, especially being away for 20 years. I'm pretty sure any other woman would have dumped his ass, but my boy Kinemon is a GOAT. But the scabbards, they barely even mind and even say that Momo was able to save them at the end of the day. Little do they know, big boy Shanks was coming in and scared Green Bull away. Now, one thing that was funny as hell that I had to mention was Raizo, actually. Basically, everyone's talking more so about Kinemon and how his relationship with his wife is so lovey-dovey. But Raizo actually says this: "Oh, I wish I were popular." Now, I don't know why that is so funny to me, but, you know, obviously I do want to actually see what happens to Raizo after this chapter. They only show Shinobu, the aftermath of her actually gaining her nutrients back, but I find Raizo's character in general to be one of the funniest of the scabbards. So next, we actually have something else that's pretty interesting. Check this out. So Carrot, who a lot of people actually thought was going to join the Straw Hats on the journey, in this chapter, Cat Viper and Dogstorm appoint her to be the leader of the Minks from here on out. And she is kind of confused and a little bit nervous, but the reasoning behind it is that Cat Viper and both Dogstorm want to help protect Wano with Momonosuke as Shogun. Now, here's my thing. I really actually wanted Carrot to be a member of the Straw Hats. I feel like everything just clicked, but, you know, after what it seems to be Yamato joining the Straw Hats. I do feel like Carrot's place as a leader of the Minks is a more viable option, and I think Oda kind of contemplated having Carrot be one of the Straw Hat members, but I don't mind this at all. But I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved to see a member of the Minks actually join the Straw Hats. It would have been pretty dope to have a little bit more diversity, you know? We need some furries. But like I said before, I believe this was one of the smarter options that Oda actually chose to. Because I mean, who else would you make the leader of the Minks? Especially, you know, Cat Viper and Dog Storm really kind of making it their thing to stay in Wano. They've always had some kind of connection with Wano as being retainers for the Kazuki clan. So I'm not mad at this at all. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I know you could have had Wanda as maybe a leader. Or I think his name is Sicilian. I may be getting it wrong, but you know, obviously, I feel like Carrot is like the major component for the Minks. So I do want to see what her role will be a little bit later on. Now, I will say this, and this kind of goes into a little bit later on future stuff that could happen. I do hope that Beppo actually recruits certain Minks members to join Law's crew, because right now his crew is looking fraudulent. He's a one-man band. Now, also in this chapter, it is confirmed that Zou will still be the home of the Minks. But it's pretty tough to have Yamato over Carrot, but I do get it. I do think Yamato is, you know, gorgeous, you know, and super strong. So there's that. So later on, we actually get a beautiful reunion between the Kazuki clan members. The remaining ones at least. Kazuki, Sukiyaki, and Momo and Hiyori. And it seems like they aren't in the slightest bit upset of him actually kind of being more so low-key after the death of his son. Now, I kind of get how this means, because Momo actually reiterates in this chapter also that he doesn't necessarily frown upon, you know, his grandfather for what he did, or, you know, how he kind of acted towards certain things. But more so, he's happy that some more lineage of the Kazuki clan is still alive and well. Now, I honestly do feel like Kazuki Sukiyaki was powerless, especially from the tyranny of Kaido. But I will say this, I do feel like he should have said something a lot earlier, because, you know, it just kind of seems like this is kind of, you know, they on top. Now I want people to know. But there's something very interesting about this as well. Check this out. But funny enough, the Scabbers actually knew that the one in the Tengu mask was Sukiyaki. They didn't think that it was their place to go ahead and expose him, basically. But the one and only member who really had no clue who he was of course Kinemon. He was completely oblivious to the whole thing. So after this, we actually catch up to the Straw Hats, and basically Robin is telling Luffy about the ancient weapon Pluton. And the question arises whether or not Luffy wants to obtain this ancient weapon. And in so much Luffy fashion, he says no. Now, this is a very Luffy answer, but I will say this could very much bite him in the ass a little bit later on in the story, especially of this development a little bit later on in this chapter. The big question comes up, why did Oden want to release Pluton? But after this, we actually see Shinobu and O-Tama. And Shinobu got body basically from, you know, Green Bull sucking out all of her nutrients. She was able to slim down a little bit, you know, she turned back into her bad self, you feel me? But basically, O-Tama makes it be known to Luffy that she's going to follow the footsteps of Shinobu and become a shinobi. Basically, what's going to happen is, once she becomes strong enough, she hopes to join Luffy on his journey. And Luffy, of course, obliges, because he really does want, you know, somebody with nice ninjutsu on his team. Now, this is where things get interesting. We finally see Caribou, who we haven't seen since the raid, or basically since he gave Luffy those meats within his mud stomach thing. Anyways, basically Caribou has figured out that Pluton is in Wano. And not only that, he also knows that Poseidon is in Fishman Island. Now here's the thing, he says directly in this chapter, "First Poseidon, now this." There's a certain someone who'd love to hear about this. Now my obvious guess would have to be Blackbeard. And I haven't seen my boy Blackbeard in a long time. But if Caribou is working for Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is able to obtain two of the ancient weapons, not only Shirahoshi, but also Pluton, this could be very much troublesome for the Straw Hats trying to find the One Piece. Now, we haven't seen Blackbeard in a minute, but the power that he'll hold if he's able to obtain or utilize the two ancient weapons, Poseidon and Pluton, would be immense. So we cut to a few days later after this discussion between the Straw Hats, and we cut to Momo completing some Shogun work. So once he is done, he actually rushes to Zoro, and he's looking for Zoro in order to try to see if he can get some swordsman's lessons. No one is there, and then he ends up calling every single member of the Straw Hats in hopes that one of them will answer. Yet no one is there, and then he soon realizes that they are finally setting out for their next journey. Without even saying goodbye to my boy Momo or Kinemon. Come on, Straw Hats, y'all tripping, bro. Y'all really tripping. But we then cut to the MVPs of this arc, Luffy, Kid, and Law. And they are discussing which direction each one of them will set out to. All of their alliances have basically ceased to exist, and they are on their own path to find, hopefully, everyone the One Piece. I'm not too sure about Law's journey. I know that he wants to find the true history, but I'm not 100% sure if he wants to find the One Piece. So due to the log post, they have 3 directions east that they can all go to. And Law ends up being the smart one in the group and actually picks a direction that isn't necessarily as dangerous as the other 2. And then Kid and Luffy end up pulling straws to see who's going to get the most dangerous of the routes. And Luffy ends up getting the shorter end of the stick. But I'm not going to lie, Luffy actually flexes that he's an emperor in this chapter. I got to give respect to my boy Luffy being like, yeah, I'm the man's now. But Kid then says this that is very interesting and has a lot of questions attached to it. You cocky emperors are an eyesore. But this one that pisses me off the most is this guy. And then we see a really dope poster of Buggy and 2 other warlords that we've seen before, Crocodile and Mihawk. And it seems, and like I said, I'll go into this a little bit later, but it seems like Crocodile and Mihawk are Buggy's subordinates, his underlings. Come on, Mihawk. Come on, my boy. I don't want to go into the fraud rumors. I really don't, because I don't think Mihawk is a fraud, but this is not a good look, my guy. But there could be a reason why he could be doing this. But like I said, we need more answers, but let me continue. So we see that Buggy has created a new organization called the Cross Guild, and it includes not only Crocodile, but also Mihawk. And this organization is really goated because, hear me out, basically this organization is putting everything on reverse. Basically, they're putting bounties on the heads of Marines. Not gonna lie, if this was Buggy's idea, this is pretty dope. He's flipping the whole script on everybody. Buggy is really getting active, my boys. But later on, we see that Law is generous enough to actually give Kid a copy of the Road Poneglyph that was found in Wano. And then we see Killer actually say this goated line, and I'm not gonna lie, I love Killer. Killer is that man. So Kaido did have one. It's like the one we forced that Big Mom commander to hand over, huh? So this kind of speaks for how good Kid's crew may honestly be, because the fact that he was able to, and I want to know what commander, I'm pretty sure it was Cracker, if anyone, but having one of the commanders actually hand over one of the Road Poneglyph road maps is very much a feat, I would say, for Kid. I mean, he basically got in there and got out, so big ups to Kid and Killer. Now also, I do kind of want to make it known whether or not there'll be some kind of cure for the smile fruit. Basically, because you know, a lot of individuals within Wano, they still have the side effects of the smile fruit, including Killer right now, because he's seen laughing in one of these panels. But I do kind of want to see if there's any kind of medicine a little bit later on that will fix that. But Killer continues and says this: if we want to stay ahead of the scramble for the One Piece, we ought to get serious about that guy. And then Kid says this: you want to go after the man marked by flames, but we've got no leads. But the way that Oda kind of suggests this, it makes it seem that we have not yet seen this character before. Now, I do have 2 guesses, and if they are wrong, who knows. But my 2 guesses would have to be Loki and Elbaf, because we don't necessarily know what is going on within Elbaf or Elbaf's territory, but we do know that Loki seems to be touted as a villainous kind of character. Now, if that's not him, obviously it could be Sabo, but I'm pretty sure it's not Sabo, to be honest. I mean, Sabo just been popping off, and this is something that is more so correlated to finding the One Piece itself. Now, here's my last guess. I would have to say it may be someone correlated to the Rock's pirates, and I want to know who that may be. Now, this could be, it could be Rayleigh. I'm not sure. Probably not Rayleigh, or it could be Gabon. Now, we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. But I'm very excited to see who Kid has actually gotten word of, who can actually help them find the One Piece. And it's kind of nice to see Kid get ahead of Luffy just by a small margin. I really got to give my big ups to my boy Kid and Killer. And I do hope that this kind of helps Kid on his journey and really kind of separates Luffy and Kid and really kind of makes them rivals a little bit later on. I would love to see the Kid, I mean, obviously they'll lose, but I would love to see, Kid's pirates versus basically the Straw Hats. I think that would be pretty dope. And Law as well. I would love to see Law in some kind of shape or form have some kind of alliance with the Minks. That would be super dope. And like I said, if Beppo is going to be useful in any single manner, this would be the thing. If he's some kind of liaison to, kind of get some of the Minks to be some of Law's pirates, I think that would be super dope. But we finally end the chapter with Yamato basically saying that she is going to set off on her journey to join the Straw Hats, and she will live as Kazuki Oden. Okay. We get it, Yamato. We get it, okay? But not gonna lie, the Straw Hats are strong as. But also, I want to point out that when Momo is actually running to different rooms calling out all of the names of the Straw Hats, Oda has Momo call the Straw Hats in the name of the order in which they joined the Straw Hat crew. And it ends with Momo screaming Yamato. Basically, this is confirmation saying that Yamato will join the Straw Hats from here on out. I feel like that was a cool little detail that Oda put into the story. But damn, this was a lot to unpack. There's a lot of things, a lot of questions that I have personally that I would like some of these smart theorists to go ahead and elaborate on. But let me go ahead and discuss some of my questions that I have for this chapter. First, I would love to know the status of Big Mom and Kaido. Are they really dead? For real? Are they completely out of the One Piece storyline? The Zoro and Ryuma kind of reunion in some kind of way. I don't even think he was able to go back to his gravesite. Hopefully, I pray to God that Oda kind of elaborates on that, because Zoro and his backstory and with his lineage and everything, for me personally, it didn't live up. It just didn't live up to the expectations that we had for Zoro. Basically his backstory. Don't get me wrong, Zoro went crazy in Wano. His action scenes were top tier, but basically more so going into his lineage and a bunch of stuff like that with Ryuma, we didn't get that at all. So I hope that Oda kind of elaborates on that, as well as the Grim Reaper stuff that we never really got explained to us, since that happened. So there's that. Caribou's mysterious leader, it seems. I do want to kind of see that elaborated on. Especially, could it be Blackbeard or could it be someone from the Marines or the world government? Now, another question is, was Shanks just promotional material for the One Piece film Red movie? That nigga just came in 3 chapters and dipped. Come on, son. Now, this one's a doozy. Now, the whole Mihawk being a subordinate to Buggy and his crew is crazy to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Buggy. Buggy is that man. But there's no way a top tier character like Mihawk should be on any kind of poster, basically being a sideline character to Buggy. Now, obviously, I don't think we know Mihawk's, basically his objectives or his ambitions. It could be that he's using Buggy's organization to finally get to Fujitora, hopefully to do another swordsman battle. Maybe he's still on his pursuit to be the best swordsman, or basically maintain his position. But I am not going to lie, it's not looking good. I mean, especially when you look at Mihawk going out to the East Blue to fight Don Craig, Mihawk's performance in Marineford. Now this, being a subordinate to to Yonko Buggy? Buggy? It's crazy. It's super crazy. Oh, and shout out to Joe Skull's theory. Actually, he's the one who mentioned that maybe Mihawk may be trying to find Fujitora for that battle. And I'm not gonna lie, that battle would be crazy. Now, another question would be, what is Zunisha going to do now? Especially, it seemed like it was walking towards, you know, Wano this entire time, but now is it simply going to try to follow Luffy in his journey, or will it show up in the final battle? We'll see. Now that I think about it, is Luffy's Devil Fruit ability, is he able to have the voice of all things attributed to his mythical zone fruit, Nika? Interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But basically, if this is the end of Wano, I do hope that Oda finds a way to elaborate on a certain amount of plot threads that he kind of left missing so far. But like I said, we'll see. I have trust in Oda. I'm pretty sure that Oda's going to have some kind of elaboration, not only on Kaido's backstory, but also hopefully we get to see Pluton at some point later on. I do want to know what the next island is. I really think it's going to be Elbaf. I hope it's Elbaf. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. But overall, amazing chapter. Oda, you're a GOAT. I really love the chapter. I do have questions, but I really love the chapter. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Go ahead and leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, my boys and girls. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna do weekly reviews on all One Piece chapters, and I throw in a couple extra videos as well. Thank you so much for viewing. I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for the support and the love, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.